Hello, and welcome to Suitcase Disc by Disc, hosted by the Tin Can Laughter. I'm Ben,
And I am Dan.
and today we're discussing Suitcase 3, Disc 2.
Yeah.
This is a weird fucking disc, I gotta just say. Some of the strangest things Bob's ever put on a suitcase are on this disc.
You know what? That's true. I remember some confused people on some certain songs. So one in
Yeah.
particular. So we'll get to that soon.
One in particular, only one. Okay, okay. Alright,
Well, yeah,
yeah. Um,
yeah,
but it's not amongst the first few, because I'm just looking here before we start. The first three songs all
mhm.
appeared are all like familiar tunes. Again, just
That's
looking
true.
now, they're
That's
all
kind of
song.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I guess let's get started with the first one. Raphael
yeah.
Muzak, which is
Muzak.
yeah, which is Raphael from the end of Suitcase One. So it's that exact recording, but with some Doug Gillard leads over top of it. So it's the better version, just off that. Man,
Yeah, right. You
it's
you had
so
some Doug licks on there,
yeah.
and
That's all
yeah,
you
it's
need.
pretty nice.
Yeah, like
Hmm. If he had, how there's some of those do the collapse demos and things
mhm.
like that where Doug actually drums,
Yeah,
like
and like does bass and
he had
drums.
drums.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if he had that kind of thing to this, that would be like perfect recording of this song.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, and then you could put it on you could have put it on isolation drills. I mean, realistically you couldn't, but I mean, yeah, who am I kidding? You couldn't, but it could have definitely gone somewhere.
Yeah.
But even this
So
sounds kind
what
of even this sounds kind of finished. Like
it does,
you
yeah,
can fill in the gaps where the bass and drums would go yourself, because it's not the
yeah,
most complex song in the world, so you can kind of imagine how it would go, and bam, that's
hmm
just how it goes, and you don't imagine, that you're just making half the instruments up. Like it sounds finished.
yeah. I mean, what's great is that the demo version, like the Bob performance part of this, is like immaculate. It is
Yeah,
a demo, but the playing is not sloppy. This,
the
like
singing's
it's
great.
recorded well.
Hmm.
Yeah,
It's Psycho and the Birds, Deluxe, Proto. I don't know.
so, assuming they never get around to actually remaking it properly in the studio,
Yeah,
this,
and we know they almost
this is
did.
the
We
best.
know they almost
Yeah,
did.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Like there was a clip posted on Instagram, right? Is
yeah, and I
them
think
rehearsing
yeah,
it.
yeah, and I think we talked about this when we discussed the original Raphael, but
Hmm.
since the full band version probably sounded a bit more like this, I mean, now that I've had time to think about it, I can speculate on why that track was axed for remaking, but I'd Choose You went forward. Which is, I
Hmm.
don't know what Raphael would benefit from a new recording with, besides just having bass and drums. And because it's not like the most complex song in the world, or maybe, I'm not going to say the most interesting song, because this version certainly shows that it is very interesting and very good. Important, if you will. But
Non-stop
like,
barrage of melody.
yeah,
It's
but
just
just,
catchy.
yeah, like, I just think, compared to some of the other songs that have gotten a remix, it's like, I don't know how much a remake would have added. Like Bunko
Yeah,
Men just needed one because it's a classic. That like stuff like That's Good was a demo. I Choose You was a badly recorded live performance.
right.
This version's kind of great on its own. It doesn't need any
Yeah,
help, and I think
yeah,
that I could see that being why Bob decided it didn't need to be reworked or redone or
yeah.
anything.
Guess we'll see. Did you hear that live clip
Oh
or that
yeah,
rehearsal clip
oh
or
I
what?
absolutely did
Because it
because
got taken down, and like
yeah
I
I think it
never I
did.
never saw it at all.
Yeah, I wonder if that was because I think I want to say it was 2018 that the clip came out. It was 20. I think it was 2018 because Bob was talking about canning that and I Choose You. Well, we know one of those changed, but I remember the response to that on the board was GBV have been recording on the road. So that
Oh,
could have been Warp and Woof.
yeah.
And then I guess because there's no remakes on Warp and Woof, I maybe Bob just decided, in keeping with that theme and keeping the songs on the shorter side, that Raphael wouldn't fit because it would have been the longest
Yeah,
song by a lot on that album.
that's true. It's pretty long at three
Yeah,
minutes. That's kind of
yeah. I mean,
surprising. Yeah.
yeah. For most bands, that's not long, but like I listened to Warp and Wolf earlier today. Most of those songs are like a minute and a half. Raphael
Yeah.
would not have fit on that album at all. And it wouldn't have fit
Yeah.
on Plague, and I don't even know if it would have fit. It wouldn't fit on any of those albums. It would have fit on
Okay.
Speak Kindly, I think. But
Oh yeah.
yeah. But I think it's just, I don't know, it's just, it does its own thing very well.
It does.
I'm also
All right.
noticing real
What's
quick,
next?
I'm
Oh,
just going to notice real quick,
yeah.
the artist name is The Flattering Lights. I could be wrong, but I think that's a lyric from You Take the Lead. I only
Okay.
noticed that just
Huh.
now, but it's like, okay, I know that name.
That's cool. Let's look that up real quick.
Yeah. Um, I was gonna try to fill in the space while you look it up, but really, I think we both need to be ready for the second song. So
Oh yeah. Well, let's
yeah,
get started.
yeah. All right. I guess we can check on it later if there's if there's a song we don't want to talk about, which there might be. There might be a few. There's some weird shit on here. We could just
Oh, well,
go back to You Take the Lead.
no, well, I'm on GBVDB.
All right.
So
What does it say?
a crack in all these windows for the unflattering light.
Close enough.
Moist noise.
Moist noise.
Pretty cool.
Okay. You know what else is moist noise? Well, it's not moist noise. Holy shit! I don't really want to keep saying that.
I'll
Um,
keep saying that.
Tear the Ticket in Half. I think this appeared on bootlegs as this song's called Smothered in Hugs, and then proceeds to be a song
Yeah.
that does not resemble Smothered in Hugs. It does resemble an Acid Ranch song called Dr. Moon, but this song is a lot
Oh,
better.
yeah, the Dr. Moon is on the first Acid Ranch,
Yeah.
like the double LP, and
hmm
it's got some really wild Bob vocals where he's I
Dr.
can't even
Moon!
describe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barking.
So
XTC
this,
vocals.
yeah,
Yeah.
and this is like the heavy, just
hmm
rock version.
Yeah. This song kind of pulls a star peppered wheat germ of sorts, where most of the song is pretty
Okay, yeah.
solid, and then the hook comes in and it like just shifts gears entirely, and you can just feel it. It goes like
Yeah.
because it's going along for a while, and then it goes to "Wait for me one more hour," and it just the gravity changes, and you
Ooh.
feel it for the beast it is. This song, like especially listening to tracks on like Barry the Mouse on Warp and Wolf, I think set a good precedent for GBV getting heavy. Stone Cold Moron set a
Oh,
precedent for the
good
band getting
call.
heavy. So
Yeah.
imagine those songs. Imagine Tear the Ticket in Half sounding like that. Oh,
Oh
that
fuck!
would be
Now you've convinced
monstrous.
me. Now you've convinced me. I want to hear a remake of this, just
What?
so
It would
we
be
can maybe see it
perfect.
play live or something. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just great. I think what I like the most about it is that I genuinely do not know when this was recorded because I don't think the booklet for Suitcase 3 even really listed like I think this was the Suitcase where they stopped
No.
listing years. Like I know Suitcase 4 doesn't
Exactly.
list years either, but Suitcase 4 at least tries to get like band info. I'm pretty sure Suitcase 3 was pretty bare bones in that regard. Songwriting credits, but that was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's true. It
Yeah.
kind of. Yeah, it's pretty vague. You can fill in some gaps if you scrutinize the notes a little bit, but yeah, it's. And I'm with you. I'm not sure. Like I pegged this one around like 1990, maybe.
Yeah,
It
like
reminds me of
it's a
like
it's it's just weird because the master's not great. Like it's
yeah.
fine, you can hear the song through it, but it's probably a first generation tape. But there's like no treble on the song. There's no treble. So it's that kind of dub. But the recording that you can hear past it is really clear. And yet like throughout the 90s if the band didn't have a bass around, Toby would just play a telly, but just like the E and A strings, and they'd EQ it to sound more like a bass. That's the bass I
Yeah.
hear on this song. So hearing that
Oh.
contrasting against what sounds like a more polished studio recording, I don't know when this was recorded. That's the gist. Like Bob's voice sounds a little more 80s than 90s,
Yeah.
but not super like 80s, and it contrasts with other 80s tracks too. Cause like I don't know, it just like either this is like a rogue down by the valley track that would have been grouped with something like Soul Barn or Troopers in the Town, or it's
It,
just
it almost sounds like
I
those to
don't
me.
know. That's the closest I've got, but at the same time, it sounds a lot. I feel like it sounds a lot better than those recordings. I don't know. The
Hmm.
drums sound different. It,
This
you
could
know,
almost be. Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say this could almost be like an Anacrusis song. Like
oh, that's
I
bold.
could picture. I can picture it being like early '80s all the
I
way
don't know
up
about
to
that.
like
That'd have to be a
'90s.
really good recording. I mean, there's one easy way to solve this, which is for the band to just re-record it, and we have that version,
Yeah.
and that's that. Haha. Perfect.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. All right. What's next? I'm an acting
My
student, which is the acoustic version of Searchlight Pickups from the Bubble EP, with Bob singing
Yeah.
over it,
Yeah.
and he's singing.
One of my favorite. I made a mashup of
You
this
did.
one.
I've heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite like Bob related like I don't know edits or remixes or whatever you
Mm-hmm.
want to call it that I did because once I realized that the song on the Bubble CD was an instrumental version of this song,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, let's see if I can make something out of it. And when I lined them up, they were perfectly in sync, other
Hmm.
than an extra bar that Todd had added.
Hmm.
But like they synced up perfectly. So what I figured was Todd had built that instrumental version just on the demo just by playing along to the demo and then extracting it. So you can almost make like a Psycho and the Birds style
Hmm.
song when you sync them up. I put that
Yeah.
on YouTube. So
Huh. Well, wasn't it?
but
Hold on. Wasn't it? I mean, it's probably Bob's acoustic guitar in the studio too, because I'm pretty sure in the movie Bubble, which I will note, I have
mhm.
not seen, but I've heard like the clips from the movie that use Bob's guitar playing.
uh,
I'm pretty sure there's a solo
yeah.
acoustic version in the movie. I could be wrong, but that's what I remember
No,
being the
you're
case.
right. Yeah, the whole movie soundtrack is basically just acoustic guitar and it's instrumental versions of songs from
From like Bubble and
from Normal
Compound Eye.
Happiness and
Is there Normal
yeah.
Happiness? Oh,
Um,
Boxing About. Boxing About.
Boxing About is one,
Yeah.
and
Again, I haven't seen the movie. I wouldn't know. I don't know if
I
it's good. Is it good?
saw it. I saw it when it came out. I happened to be in France when it came out. I
Oh.
just as a random fact, and I
Mm-hmm.
saw it. I saw it there with some friends and in a theater, and it was it's really weird. It's I don't know if you have read about it or anything,
I
but
know it's Soderbergh.
it's yep. And he cast the entire cast is like non-actors. Like
Hmm.
it takes place in Ohio, and all the people acting in it are just like regular people from Ohio who don't normally act like professionally.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's weird. I don't remember too much about it, the movie itself. It's a kind of uncomfortable movie, but yeah, who knows? It's got Bob on the soundtrack,
Yep. I don't think
so
that's.
what you gonna do?
Yeah. Maybe it's at some point I'll have to watch the movie, but I have to find it first.
Yeah.
When I do find it, it's mine. That was a really bad segue into track 4 on this disc. Oh no, we've got another Elephant Jokes outtake. It's called "I'll
Yeah.
Come," and when it does, it's mine.
The title came from like a misreading.
Of something in Bob's
Uh,
notebook, I think. It'll come, and when it
yeah,
does,
like
it'll be
Bob.
mine. But someone missed a
Yeah,
letter.
yeah. Which
Classic
which
Bob.
makes it a very yeah. And the absurdity of the title and the chorus is just
Yeah.
um it's the icing on the cake of like a really nice poppy song.
Just fucked up a little.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
a nice,
extremely
yeah,
fucked up.
yeah. It's a nice song, fucked up by being recorded for Elephant Jokes, which I
Yeah.
have to clarify again because Elephant Jokes is a great album that just happens to be really fucking weird. Um, yeah, I mean, I feel like so far we've speculated on why certain different tracks got cut. I think this just fits into that camp of sort of like dropping the bomb. I think where there's really nothing in Elephant Jokes that quite sounds like this. I think when Bob, I
Yeah.
guess my assumption is when Bob decided to cut some tracks from the album and bring it down to just a very long single album, he cut, I'd say, some of the more, I'm going to say more upbeat tracks. Because there are pretty
Yeah.
songs or somewhat pretty songs on Elephant Jokes, like Parts of Your World and Desiring, but those aren't
That's true.
fast. Those aren't fast like
They're
this.
somber, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Bob cut the ones that could have been like if he were on a record label, ones that somebody would be like, "This is the single."
Yeah, he cut the obvious tracks. Well, they're not.
Yeah,
They're not all obvious. They're not all obvious. Like I'm pretty. Yeah, there's. He cut some weird shit too. We got robbed of the annex being on Elephant Jokes. Are tired of knocking and just, I don't know.
That one, yeah.
I mean, we already talked about those. No need to really touch on those again. But this is a good track. It makes a case for the 10 cut tracks having been released as an EP instead of being on Suitcase.
Sure.
Because I think they would have made a very formidable EP.
Oh, certainly. And just the sound of this one reminds me of more like the jangly kind of early 80s, early GBV stuff from
Yeah.
the 80s.
Yeah, and we learned, from yesterday's Hot Freaks that some of the tracks from Elephant Jokes did originate in the early 80s. So, yeah. Talk about a mindfuck. I said this stuff is weird. If you listen to Hot Freaks and you got the From a Compound Eye demos, that may be the weirdest stuff Bob's ever put out.
It's pretty incredible to hear how that massive epic album began
as just noise. Basement just noise, unlistenable. Speaking of unlistenable noise, we have 2 tracks in a row from the East Dayton Rock Company, which I think is Randy Campbell.
Yeah.
And maybe Bob. The first one, for the sake of editing, we're going to go one at a time, is cyclophobia, which is not a word, but psychophobia is. Cyclophobia I do not think is a word, though. And it's Randy Campbell strumming a few chords.
So it's
we'll start there.
Just a riff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a riff.
It is almost like the intro to Take Me Back. Is this the only time on a Suitcase, other than disc 4 of this one, but where like the same band is back to back?
That's a good question. I don't think so.
I think so.
Yeah, I don't think. Gonna go with no.
Okay. The combined tracks don't count on Suitcase 1.
Yeah, well, because they're one song like on the CD. Yeah. Do we have anything else to say about cyclophobia?
I do not.
All right. Then next we have, by the same people, East Dayton Rock Company, is Take Me Back.
Is this Bob on guitar, you think?
I think it is.
And Randy Campbell's taking the lead.
Yeah. I'll admit I don't remember this one tremendously well.
It's, not particularly
it's
memorable.
It's a good track for a Suitcase.
Yeah. It's just kind of like something fun Bob did with his friend, who's not exactly like a musical talent per se.
Yeah, I mean, Randy's
interesting person.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure Randy's on like a track or 2 on B1000. I think he's on Big Fan of the Pigpen. I think he does. I think he does.
On that one.
He sings at the end of "Damn Good Mr. Jam." Anything for free. I'm pretty sure that's him. And we're gonna hear from him a little more on the next Suitcase, but that's nice. December.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, he's kind of a blast on Suitcase 4, but we'll get there when we get there. We're not there yet. Do you have anything else to say about the East Dayton Rock Company?
No, but I have something else to say about the I'll Come and When It Does It's Mine.
Ooh, okay. By the way, as you say this, Take Me Back is still going to be playing, so...
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that the verse melody was recycled on a Circus Devils song. Did it blow your mind?
Yeah, because I don't remember the melody.
I think it's Siren, when he goes, Siren, or, is it Siren? It's on Capsized.
Can you hum the melody of the Elephant Jokes outtake?
Don't worry about the driver in the rain. Oh yeah, teardrop in your eye. Then this is easier.
I don't know if that's...
Oh, it totally is. Like,
I have to listen to it again.
Dang. Siren, yeah. In a radically different context, because it sounds creepy and sinister.
Huh.
Yeah. Oh, yep, it's the track Siren on Capsize. Trust me. Play those when you edit it.
I'll have to, because when you said it at first, I don't know why, but at first I thought of Queen Parking Lot from Poppy Field when you mentioned the melody being reused.
Oh, interesting.
Actually, that might just be me. All right. I'm just noting we're 20 minutes in with 6 songs covered. And we'll speed up.
Nice. I
Because
like those
again,
odds. Yeah.
yeah, again, I mean, again, Bob is great, Suitcase is great, but sometimes you don't know what to say about a song. You don't have much to say. We might have a
Yeah.
ton
Well,
to say about Sonny the Monster.
I think we do. So
I,
this
I
was the
think we
one
do.
I was. Yeah, I think we do.
What the
When I
fuck?
mentioned that people were confused, this was one because I remember when this came out, people on the forum, like the question was asked so many times, like, who, like, why does Bob sound like that, or is that
Because
Bob
it's
singing, or
well, it's
what the
not
hell is
Bob.
that?
It's Bruce Smitty Smith. So this is, I believe, Bruce Smith, who was the drummer of Anacrusis, and would occasionally find himself back in GBV down the road. Like he played drums on Earful of Wax,
Oh
which
yeah,
is enough to cement him as a god. Because the drumming on that song's fantastic. But this is
yeah. By all accounts, he's
yeah,
a fantastic drummer, very
yeah,
talented,
hmm
and one of those guys who's like beyond rock music. Like he could do like the
yeah.
jazz drumming, like
hmm
more complex stuff, but
But
would
he
get
can
pulled
also,
into
but
what's up.
he can also
He can also
take an old,
rock like
yeah.
a new wave
hmm
80s style version of an old Bob song.
This isn't even like rock at this
So
point, though. This is just cheese. And I know the original was an Anacrusis tune, so I could see Bob including this for two reasons. One, because it's an
it's awesome.
Anacrusis tune. I mean, he co-wrote the song. And
Yep.
two, because how funny would it be that his old late 70s metal band that kicked out Bob and Mitch for getting into Devo would have one of their songs finally see the light of day as a pop track? Like,
Yeah.
come on. Just.
This is so good. It's really good.
I
Like
honestly.
it,
I can't get past how 80s it is. Like,
it's so 80s.
I'll defend some 80s shit. Like, one of the hills I usually end up dying on is that the first two 80s Wire albums are better than Pink Flag, which
Right.
is a scorching take in every single circle
You
of the
do
world.
say
But
that a lot,
yeah, not to diss Pink Flag, I just like Ideal Copy and Bells a Cup more. But I don't think that those are channeling the same sort of 80s production that this is. Like, this is, man, what the fuck? That's all I can say
Just
about this song. That's all I have to say. What the
well,
fuck is.
like it's funny because we've never heard Bob singing this or the way it was originally written, but you can
Yeah.
kind of like extrapolate like the riffs and
Honestly,
the
I
melody
still
of like
can't. I still can't. Like, I know it was Anacrusis, and I know originally Bob sang this, and I know that this was supposed to be like a hard rock song. I
yeah.
can't get past the cheesy 80s-ness of it all, though.
The final chorus, like these harmonies come in. It's pretty nice. It's like I feel like you could slip this onto like an 80s kind of mix, like not of the super like poppy one hit wonder
hmm
stuff, but I mean this could it could pass for a like a quote unquote real track from that era. I don't know when
Yeah,
this was recorded.
a lost.
I don't know. Yeah,
When do you think? 1984. I'm just guessing, but I
I
think.
think I don't know. I wasn't sure if maybe he did this like much later on, like maybe in the 90s
Oh
or
God,
even
nothing in the
later.
90s should sound like that. Oh God.
But maybe it was intentionally made to. I think that
I
they're
think
trying to
we're
like
wearing
keep.
it thin.
What's that?
I think you're overthinking it a bit there. Maybe that's
Am
just me,
I?
but I think we're starting to get into overthinking territory.
Oh
I
man.
think we've been
All
talking
right,
about
let's
Sonny
move
the
on.
Monster for 5 minutes now.
I like that song a lot. It's just it's
I
fun.
just can't. I'm sure.
Let's move on.
Yeah. 8. I share a rhythm. I thought for ages this was a Boston Spaceships outtake, and then
I did too.
Hot
Yep.
Freaks said otherwise and revealed this to be from 2006
Yeah.
on the very earliest version of what would evolve very slowly over time into Silverfish trivia.
Yeah. So I was trying to imagine what this would sound like as a full studio Todd Tobias kind of production, and
I still hear
honestly,
spaceships.
Yeah. I the song isn't like it's not like really a lost gem. It's like cool. It's a cool
Hmm.
song,
There's a
but
cool
maybe I
idea
could.
in there somewhere, but this isn't the best presentation,
Yeah,
I think, of
yeah.
it.
I wonder if they could have really improved on it. I mean, I think it would have been better. I think it would have been like pretty cool if they had finished it. But it's a nice suitcase track, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Just as it is, you know, it's kind of one of the songs where maybe that's all it needs to be. There's not
Yeah.
like a really strong like hook in it,
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
it's got a nice bob sound to it. So
Yeah. Um,
yeah,
what's next? Ooh, good one. Before My Eyes, Pissing in the Canal. Good tune.
I love the bass line in this one in the verse. The
Yeah,
way it
do.
starts.
Do, do,
Doo,
do,
doo,
do, do,
doo, doo,
do,
doo. Yeah,
do, do. Yeah. Oh, great tune.
yeah, super great tune. It's kind of interesting. The chorus on this one is the same line repeated 4 times with the same melody, which isn't
Yeah.
something Bob does that much.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I noticed that the other day when I was listening to this and thought it would be noteworthy, but like I can't really think of too many examples. He usually writes pretty long, complex choruses, I think.
Hmm.
So, um,
I mean, it's an older tune.
yeah,
I don't know how much that clarifies, but I mean, it is pissing in the canal. I mean, because then there's also She's Got Amnesia, next disc. And on the last
it's
disc,
true.
we had who could the unforgettable abstract surrealist poetry classic Together Apart. So,
Apart.
yeah. And,
Yeah,
or tell me how you feel about me. Like, I mean, Bob's songwriting wasn't at the point where he was writing super wordy choruses all the time. But this doesn't need it. It's a great tune.
yeah,
I think it's a bit too much of a time capsule to say, oh, they should do this again. But I mean, it would be nice. But I think
right.
it's by what Bob's been putting out these days, you know, those standards. I think it's a little it's not fucked up. It's not a fucked up song. Bob
Exactly.
needs it fucked up.
Mhm.
Which brings us to Freedom Rings. Um, this sounds like a '90s demo, actually, from the sound
Yeah,
of an
I'm
unplugged electric.
I'm pretty certain that it was pretty much contemporary with uh, Ringworm Interiors, where part of its melody and lyrics got recycled.
Into You First, which is a great
Yeah,
tune for Circus Devils, but this
yeah,
became a great tune for Boston Spaceships. God,
yeah. So that's pretty
if
cool.
any song ever benefited from getting reused by Boston Spaceships, it might. I don't know if this is the best example of that because like metal exists, but man, Freedom Rings. No
This
other
is one of
Bob
the great
project could
ones.
do it. No other Bob project could do Freedom Rings.
That's true. Yeah, Boston Spaceships, like the arrangement on that
Hmm.
one is really good. I like how it slowly, adds like the drums and so
Hmm.
on. It just kind of builds. So, but really, in the demo when Bob does that riff with his mouth, like
Yeah.
and then to hear that like perfectly translated to actual
Oh
real
yeah.
guitar, that was nice. So that's that needed to happen for
Hmm.
sure. So
Yeah. 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 Lest we forget that Slushy is also historically quite good at taking some of Bob's demos and making them work a little better.
he
Man, we are
really was. Yeah,
yeah. All right, I'm just letting you know we are half an hour in. We've talked about
that's
10 songs.
crazy.
Some of these are,
Oh man,
I
some
think,
of these are gonna go by fast.
yeah,
We're getting into the weeds here, but
yeah, like
Freedom Rings. I
Freedom.
just wanted to mention that
Hmm.
the hook, the central hook, is just
Hmm.
it's really good. It's indelible. Like
Yeah,
it is. Um,
and it's
it's
an
one that stands the test of time, and
mhm.
that's why it
and
got
it's a
remade. I'm
yeah, and
sure
it's an
because
all-time riff. It's an all-time riff.
yeah,
You
yeah,
could show Freedom Rings to someone who like only listens to like Led Zeppelin and shit,
yeah.
and they'd
They'd be
get
like,
down
oh
with it.
really?
I don't know if you could say the name of the next one. Coach Ice. I hope that's how you
Yeah,
pronounce it. By Hoof. which is weird to say because usually that's what I call deer hoof. I
Yeah,
call them the
deer
hoof because it's really funny. I just think it's really funny. But here it
hoof.
is by hoof, and I, it's an elephant jokes outtake. That's really kind of all I have to say about this one. It's
It's
not,
an
it's not,
instrumental,
it's not bad, but
and
it
it's
sounds like a jam, and it's just.
yeah.
Except Todd
Not
doesn't
not
have a
too
credit, so who knows what it is? I don't know. Maybe I think
I think
it,
that basically just means Bob came up with the chord
and
progression,
then Todd.
or it could be that there's a Bob demo with vocals, and this was Todd's like,
Huh.
you know, version of that, but then the vocals didn't get added.
I don't know
So,
about that because I believe the story was that Elephant Jokes was recorded by Bob first, like the roughs
oh
for
yeah,
Elephant Jokes. So I mean, my theory was I swear I've heard that Bob wrote some of the Elephant Jokes tracks in the studio,
hmm
which would explain some of the like shorter, really off the cuff tracks that Bob would probably wrote lyrics very quickly. Or on a song,
sure,
or on a song later in here, just decided, fuck it, who needs lyrics?
yeah,
That's gonna be a fun one to talk about. So I wonder if this was just him dicking around, and he said, Todd, can you give this a shot? And he just decided not to add vocals. Um,
I'm sure it's something like that. Yeah,
yeah, I think on the original shit canned version, it was called Blind Rifles.
that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything to really add to this one.
Yeah, that's fine. We did
We talked about Coach Ice,
Yes.
next we get to talk about When's the Last Time, which starts with the acoustic version of Quality of Armor that's been floating around on bootlegs for ages, and then it
Yeah.
becomes an '80s version of an older '80s version of Stumbling Blocks to Stepping Stones,
Yeah.
or I guess for the people who don't know the bootlegs, the Terrible Two, but it has the melody from Stumbling Blocks, which Terrible Two didn't have.
Yeah.
It's good. It just makes me want Stumbling on a suitcase.
Yeah. We want Stumbling, the long lost classic.
Yeah, the acoustic version, not the electric solo
Yeah,
version.
not the demo-ish version.
Yeah,
I
like
think the demo one that's circulating, that's like a propeller
it is a
demo.
propeller demo. Yeah, and
But
this is the long lost classic, Stumbling Blocks, Stepping
yeah,
Stones, and
yeah.
this is I guess a band version that I imagine predates both of the bootleg recordings.
Yeah,
And
I bet this is the
yeah, and it's
oldest.
not fucked up at all, which is probably why Bob messed with it again. Because
Yeah.
it's a song with promise. I mean, Terrible Too is the first Suitcase song.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah,
so good.
yeah. I mean, yeah, sure. It's the first song in an outtakes collection, but it takes a lot to be number one. You got to have chops to be the first, like this Ream and Lead Walking. That's a bad argument. Point being, it's. I mean, I feel like it's like a lot of the '80s Bob tunes on Suitcase are like, "When's the last time?" There's clearly something there, but the song as a whole isn't fucked up enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next up is a cool one. It's a
Ooh,
very low key
it's
demo
Yeah,
track,
it's Remington Ash,
but
and
that's good.
it's got a
Yeah.
yeah, that's good. It's got a nice open chord riff. I remember when Suitcase 3 was starting to really grow on me more. I remember liking this demo a lot. Uh, so fast forward kind of a while, and this track, this lovely demo. I will note the demo itself is fine. I listened to Space Gun earlier, and holy fuck, this song it's like a truck. I don't have to say this song should have been remade because it did. It was, and it's a
It
monster.
was
It's
a
a
single.
it's yeah, it was a single, and it might as well. It has the tone of a ballad. I don't know about the lyrics, but
Yeah.
it's so good. Hey, it's almost
Yeah.
hey. They should write a song called "That's Good" about how good that song is.
Yeah, I didn't appreciate this one in its suitcase form. But when I heard the remake, and then that's really when that song hit me. So I was kind of surprised. I was like, oh, they're redoing this one, but it was a good choice.
Yeah, no, I was psyched from the get go. It's always interesting, when we're in different camps.
Yeah.
about like a recording, but really like the like this demo is still gorgeous. But it's like a stripped down gorgeous. It's basement gorgeous. That's not a real term.
Yeah.
I made it up, but yeah. Like again,
Reminds me of some other Suitcase tracks I like Born on Seaweed, or
oh yeah.
even what's the other one? Maybe like Child, just
Oh, I
stuff
could see
from that
that.
kind of, yeah, like
They're
I don't know, that
solemn.
with that kind of that slow, very deliberate
Hmm.
kind of chord progression and melody that just it really works. I don't know. There's a quality to it where it's very affecting. There's something about the singing and the certain changes in the song that strike a chord, emotionally, even if
Hmm.
I don't really know what it's about or anything like that, but you can tell there's some emotion to the vocal and the composition. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Next we have you got a lot of nerve. Oh, no, 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 no. You got a lot.
I swear that there's other songs from this exact same session, like
Uh,
on Suitcases. I
on
can't even
like
think of them right
suitcase.
now.
If we're thinking of the same one, then I think Suitcase 4 has a ton.
But yeah,
Like a bunch that got remade on Superman Was a Rocker. Like
yeah,
Bob on guitar and shouting every now and again, and Mitch on drums.
yeah. I
That's what I have to
got
guess
it.
this is. This is also in I think Battle for Mankind 2.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's in the hey I know your old lady camp. You can't
yeah.
take it serious. You're not allowed to take it seriously, and it doesn't need to
Exactly.
be.
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
It's fun.
it's good on its own. It doesn't need help.
Nope.
No, it is. It's just
Mainstream
fine.
rock.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we gotta address this next one. So let's get
Jesus.
it over with.
I almost. This is Vagabond Lover, which I think is a Nick Weiser track for the old Project 86. So Bob isn't on this one at all.
Not written by Bob, and
Not
really,
performed by
I'm not
Bob.
convinced Bob's on it at
I don't
all.
think he
Maybe
is.
backing vocals.
It sounds like one vocal going on its own for like a minute, and then like a dinky little drum machine comes in, but there's really nothing else melodic going on. Like, just what? Why the fuck is this here? Bob could do what he
Oh
wants,
man.
but why is this here?
Yeah, Suitcase 3 seems to be the one where there's the most like outside songwriters or
Yeah,
performers
this
because
is it's just confounding, man. Like I don't have a problem with other performers being on here for like Sonny the Monster, which was a Bob track, or Six Land, which is a Bob track. I'm just confused by this. You there? Wait. You there? Well, there's something to edit down. Our guest has gone missing.
hello,
Hello.
hello, hey, I was talking and I guess it got cut off or something. I don't know.
Huh.
Where were we?
What were we talking about? Hold on.
I was rambling about Vagabond Lover.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think the cut connection was
fortuitous.
something's way of saying you don't need to talk about the song. So
Yeah,
fuck it.
let's go on to
We
Banners.
we won't. Banners. Oh, that's beautiful.
Banners is nice.
It's
This is
really
like
nice.
a
It's the B side to Coastal Town. The
yeah,
sadder, more
yeah,
introspective B side to Coastal Town.
for sure. Yep, it's is that harmonica or like some sort of melodica?
I don't know what it is, but it's the same thing that's on Coastal Town. I would love if it were
Yeah,
melodica because Bob doesn't have enough songs with that glorious instrument. But
yeah. So this is a like '80s style Bob ballad, and
Yeah.
it's a really really good one.
Hmm.
Dig it.
Yeah, it's good somber Bob.
Yeah,
It's the kind of song that makes you wonder if there's a deeper meaning to it.
yeah,
Because it
yeah, for
could.
sure.
It easily could. I don't know if it does, but it could.
All right, I think that's it
Yeah, I
for that
Banner.
one. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a great song.
yeah.
I don't.
There's not much to
Yeah,
say. It speaks. Honestly, it largely speaks for itself.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it
Like
could be.
don't skip this one.
Yeah,
That's my advice. Don't
it's a
don't
good
sleep on
tune.
this one. It's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, and it speaks. It has such profound lyrics, as does this next song, 100 Colors.
Ooh.
Man, I'm gonna get like, I'm gonna get the shit kicked out of me for having the worst podcast segues in the world. I mentioned earlier that I believe someone had said that some of the Elephant Jokes tracks, I guess that did or didn't make the album, were tracks that Bob had written in the studio,
Hmm.
and so had presumably written lyrics fairly quickly.
Yeah.
100 Colors, I think, is that. Because the
Oh yeah.
third verse doesn't have lyrics, which is odd for a more produced track with with Todd Tobias. But he just kind of Bill Murray's it up for a while at the end.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
It's kind of
Elephant Jokes. We've mentioned before. Yeah, the Elephant Jokes album as a whole
hmm
has a lot of kind of slurred, garbled vocals, and it's
yeah.
just kind of a flavor of that album. And
hmm
yeah, you're right though. This one kind of trails off maybe.
Yeah, it's an
This was
album.
a
It's
yeah.
an album
Oh,
to
sorry.
subject
Go
your.
on.
It's a Elephant Jokes is an album to make your friends listen to.
Yeah.
Haven't done it.
This one
One day.
this one was a quote unquote like single, or I guess you
Yeah.
could say like preview track of Suitcase,
Yeah.
and I think it works as I mean this is like pretty cool song, pretty catchy, short, pretty much everything you want from a Bob song.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
hmm And it's got a number in the
Yeah,
title. You can't go wrong with a number in the title. There's
100 colors.
100 colors. Um,
Imagine that.
yeah, could you imagine if there were
Mm,
100
I
colors?
don't, I don't think there are that
I
many.
don't think there are, yeah. I was gonna try to follow that with a mild
Yeah.
tangent of sorts where I tried to remember what the most crayons I ever saw in a box in Staples were back when I worked there very long ago,
Hmm.
a year, well before there
I'm
was
gonna
a
s-
pandemic. I don't remember what
I'm,
the most I saw were, but we did have a lot of Crayola stuff, so there was
I'm
probably like
gonna
a
say like
128.
60. Really?
There was definitely like 64. There might have been a 96, but I feel like if you're gonna do 96 at that point, you might as well go 100.
You might as
I
well.
think I'm making
Yeah.
up. I might be making up 128, but I swear that exists, proving that in some context there are more than 100 colors. I mean, we're joking. Of course, there's more than 100 colors, but I think most of those would be. I mean, most people aren't going to give a shit that there's a ton of colors. They'll be like, there's 20. That's all that matters. Wow, I don't know what that was. Old engine driver. It's Hey Aardvark with
The
different
old engine
engine
driver.
driver. It's Hey Aardvark with different lyrics, and it's a bit longer. I
That's
think
right.
I think I prefer this one.
What?
Woo!
Hey Aardvark is just a classic.
It is a classic, but I think I prefer this. Not by much. I want
Okay.
to clarify that. It's not like, oh, this is loads better. I mean, it's the same song
That's true.
with
It's
different
basically the lyrics that are different, and like you said, it's a little
Yeah.
longer.
I mean,
It's like the same recording,
it is.
right?
Yeah.
Instrumentally,
Yeah,
which
I'm gonna
that's
take
kind of odd.
I'm gonna take my statement back. There's no ranking the two because Hey Aardvark is more fine tuned. I think it's a more well crafted melody.
Mhm.
But this allows the instrumental to breathe a little more. Also, it's sort of like the Ivanhoe instrumental that became two other songs.
Yeah.
Except we don't have the instrumental on its own. We have two versions with vocals that are. I don't. My head hurts thinking about this song because the vocals sound like they could have been recorded with the other tracks, but they definitely weren't.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm guessing they had a little a cassette version that's instrumental, and probably, oh, I don't know. Maybe I think Old Engine Driver is obviously like early 80s. I think it's like Mailbox because you can hear the
The
drum
instrumental,
machine.
yeah. It kind of sounds like
Yeah.
that track Mobile from Get Out of My Stations.
Oh,
The instrumental
interesting.
kind of sounds like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's what like the noise at the end is a drum machine just playing really fast.
Joe the Crow,
Hmm.
as he introduces it, although it's officially just called Crow. Or
It's called
sorry,
Joe.
Joe. But
Man, I feel like
it's called Joe.
I feel like I should remember this one better because everyone else on DTS fucking loves this song. And
I really like this one. It's
no, I'm not. I don't think
beautiful.
it's bad. I just don't
It's
remember it very
it's
well.
yeah. The people want to know.
It's a
Just
bit,
a good
yeah.
Bob
It's
melody.
yeah. I mean, if the statement that this was a Universal Truths demo is true, then I could see it being a bit sweet for an album like that.
Very true. Yeah.
Like some of the other
I'm
tracks,
honest.
some of the other
Yeah.
demos, which will
I'm
pop
not
up on disc
convinced.
3.
I'm not convinced is really uh universal like ever like considered for universal truths, but
Hmm. But like from
I don't
around
know.
that time.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could just be total randomness that it's also credited to Gel Clay like the other like the confirmed Universal Truths outtake Back to the Navy.
Yeah.
But either way, it's I do see or hear some similarities, maybe in Bob's voice, some of his inflections. I don't know, just maybe maybe a little bit to give it away as being part of that era. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a sweeter, kind of almost folky
Yeah.
song.
I mean, I'm thinking about the sound of the guitar because I mean, you notice after a while that acoustic guitars and unplugged hollow bodies do not sound the same.
Yeah,
Especially like I guess the Harmony Rocket that certainly doesn't sound the same. And I'm pretty sure that's what Bob used for a while. So I almost wonder if this might be late '90s and it's not Universal Truth at all.
yeah. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me because it really a song like this could have spanned any era from like mid '90s to maybe like maybe 2000
Yeah.
5 or so, like just
Yeah.
the sound and style. I mean, that covers a lot. And Bob, that decade is insane to think about because of all the Bob stuff and all the change, the different stuff that he came up with during
Mhm.
that era. But still, um, yeah.
Mhm.
Either way, I like that song. It's great. It should
Yeah.
get remade.
Okay. Like I don't know that I'm begging for that one, but if it happens, I'm not gonna
I'm
complain.
I'm telling you,
You know what I think should get remade?
actual
Sectivity.
sectivity.
Actual sectivity. I
Sexual.
think it's supposed to be sexual activity, but the words are fucked up.
Yeah, yeah, we
Um,
know.
yeah. I want to note real quick that the artist name is Cub Scout Bowling Pins. I think that's the name of
Oh,
an
that's the name of a new
upcoming,
EP.
yeah, an upcoming Guided by Voices standalone EP. It's not like Warp and Woof where it's part of an album. No, it's an EP. And I've heard
Yeah,
a bit about it. I don't know a ton about it. It's only really come up
yeah,
once.
yeah. That's true. Is that coming out soon? Do
I
we
think
know?
what I'd heard was late January, which means it's time for
January.
another release to show up on the database within a week of my birthday, but not actually being my birthday.
Yes.
My birthday's not going to be a Friday for
Oh,
like 5 years, so I get robbed again. We missed out because of a leap. Again,
oh.
I missed out because of a leap year, so it'll be ages before my birthday. I'm serious. My birthday has
Hmm.
nothing on the database because late January will come around and it's never the 30th, and that's what this is going to be. It'll be January. That's nice. Bob doesn't put out a ton of music in January usually. Because, you can't really tour for it because Bob doesn't like touring in the winter, which, fair.
Yeah.
Um,
Doesn't like driving in the snow.
yeah, I mean, they're not going to tour anyway anytime soon. I think that's safe to say.
Nope.
But if they did, it'd be
Let's
really
talk
cool.
about
It'd be really cool if they
yeah.
talked about actual activity if they did. This one's
Songs.
I don't know when this was made.
You were saying you think it's a Propeller outtake. You
I
said
must have
that
said
one
that a
time.
while ago. Well, first I'm going to note before we get to that this was previously released as a Crickets bonus track called "The Power of Suck," which is a lyric in the song.
Yeah.
It works really well on Suitcase. I think my guess has always been Propeller. I don't really know for sure. I'm just guessing. The guitars are tuned really low on this one. Like I
It's
think
a weird.
it's
Yeah,
like drop
like
C sharp. That's it's
really.
yeah, just yeah.
It sounds like something that could have been like Mitch could have had
That was
handed.
my thought. My thought was
Yeah.
I'm gonna check the database and see what the songwriting credits are listed as, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a Mitch Mitchell co-write. I would not be surprised at all to see this, with a Mitch co-write. Let's see it.
What I like about this one is
Yep,
it's got that
co-writer Mitch
really.
Mitchell. Yep,
Ooh, yeah. See, we know what
it
we're
is.
talking
Yeah,
about sometimes.
it is also on Briefcase. I will note that now. That this is on Briefcase. Man, this is a weird
So the cool thing
Briefcase.
about this song is it's got that staccato guitar riff throughout the first part of it, and it's not really like melodic, but it's memorable.
Da da da
Like,
da da da
to it.
da
And
da.
then yeah.
And
then
then
that second half where
the 16th
these
note
backing
hi-hats
vocals
come in.
and Bob starts singing.
What do you require?
Yeah.
What
So
are you supposed to play?
it really takes off. It's cool.
It's another star-peppered wheat germ. I know that this probably predates that, but that's the term I use for songs that just the hook sneaks up on you like that
Yeah.
and changes the vibe of the song. Like I think earlier when I talked about Tear the Ticket in Half, this is like that.
Yeah, so really not knowing what era it's from, I think Propeller's the safest bet. It just sounds like something. It sounds like it would fit on that album. So
Yeah, I mean, my guess is that just because it's not a beat that gets used in GBV songs a ton, but I seem to recall Home by 10 using that beat for the whole song. So I just imagine Don Thrasher being the guy who could do that beat the best. I don't know. That's my guess. I don't really know.
Yeah, nobody knows. I would
someone
like to
knows.
know, but I do not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next we have another. I noticed this disc is fairly light on the Acid Ranch tracks.
That's true.
Yeah. So this is "Call Me," which is I guess it'd be Mailbox if there's a drum machine. It's fairly
My
pretty.
rule of thumb is if you hear the drum machine, that's Mailbox.
If you don't,
although
Underdogs by Acid Ranch has a drum machine on it, so
it doesn't.
it doesn't really matter. I mean, there's an Acid Ranch track on the second album with drums. It doesn't matter. They're all Acid Ranch. Fuck it. Nightwalker.
Yeah.
They're the same thing. Doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah. But this is it's Call Me. It's really nice.
Acid Ranch song.
Yeah. It's simple enough. Was it?
Great guitar.
I transcribed the lyrics to this one a long time ago. Let's see if I can find them. And to those of you at home picking up my computer's built-in mic as I tap, tap, tap away, tough. We're lo-fied. That's what we are. Oh, what's funny is I'm searching through my notes to find it, and I know to search it because, yeah, I mean, some of the lyrics, like the first verse is really nice. The TV's always on, and I've got plenty of beer. I've got a shoulder to cry on and a couch to lie on. Call me, call me. That's kind of nice. I like that.
Yeah.
The second verse.
That's when he says,
Are you happy with your old man? Are you happy with your domestic duty? You like to wash his underwear? And do you like Chinese food?
Like
Then
Chinese
call me.
food.
I'd like to hear the first verse again, but man. What the hell? See, this is the anatomy of a pure Suitcase track. Because it's really good, but it's obvious why it couldn't go anywhere else.
Yeah, it's an aching kind of '80s Midwestern
Yeah.
mob. Yeah, I love it. The melody and the guitar line on this could come back in some form. I feel like
I could see that.
they would have to be radically retooled.
It could sound
lyrically.
It could sound good on like a Warp and Woof 2, which won't happen.
Yeah.
But if something like that were to happen again, where Bob consciously made an album, with more really short songs, I think something like "Call Me" would work pretty well on there.
Yeah.
Still hoping for that all Suitcase remake album, like I once dreamt Styles We Paid For would be, knowing full well it would not be the case. What's next? Oh, we have Demon Gods of Anger. We
Ooh,
know who you really are. It's the Fun Punk
the Fun
5.
Punk Five.
And it's Believe It.
Uh, you know what I concluded? This is the best Fun Punk Five song.
It's not because Do the Ball exists. But this is
Yeah,
probably on a technicality. I think this is second best because it's not like a drag like Trash Truck, and it's not just like the pissest of piss takes like Bye Bye song. And by piss take, I mean
yeah,
it's piss take being included. It being recorded is just a bunch of guys having fun. I don't
yeah,
remember this one very well, but I know that the first 5 seconds I thought were pretty good. Like Bob has a pretty good
yeah.
melody in the first 5 seconds, and then it just kind of meanders. Somehow I don't hate it. It's still good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a good
Believe it.
Suitcase track. Do you have anything else
Here
to
we
say about
go.
this?
No,
Oh,
we're moving
that
on.
was
We're
fast.
light years beyond
We've
it.
got Ben Zing. What I assume I have to assume this is Ben Zing because it sounds like Ben Zing, but it also sounds like Class Clown Spots a UFO. Woo baby, yeah! Woo! I love this song. I love
Classic.
every song, every like this and the 2012 version are top tier GBV. It's
Yeah, totally.
It's so well composed. It's great verses. Doesn't really have a chorus, just a bunch of verses, and then it
It's
goes,
all chorus.
yeah,
It's
and
all
then
those.
it's all a chorus, yeah, and then it goes a cappella, and then suddenly, bam, three-part harmonies, all
Oh
doing different
man.
things for a minute, because you really have to let that sink in, and it's great here. Uh, my mate Ethan, who I've mentioned covering songs before, did a really good cover of Class Clown that sounds like this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds like this.
I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, yeah. It's a great track. It's a great version of Class Clown
Riley,
Spots a UFO.
for sure. And yeah, so this song's just been kicking around for a really long time in the Bob universe.
Yeah,
I believe it's it was a propeller, or it was demoed around the time
yeah.
of
It
propeller.
was
Although
special
this dates back
astrology.
earlier.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
Crocker's favorite song, which is on King Shit.
Yep, yep.
But it's better
So
like
kind of
this. It's better. It's
so
better as the prog epic.
yeah, I agree. It's awesome that it came back when it did and
Hmm.
kicked ass.
Yeah, so much ass. All right, we've got
Good.
two more
Oh,
songs. The first
yeah,
is
look at that. See, we're
another.
almost done.
Yeah, we've got a Remington Ash. You. I'd like to hear this again, but I'd like to hear it with Todd because I can't
Mm.
fathom because it sounds so much like rhythmically it just fits the kind of stuff Bob was doing with Todd. Like it sounds like Accidental Texas Who, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it almost sounds like some of the songs on Lord of the Birdcage that have a
Ooh,
lot of
yeah.
stops and like have a lot of like dead air, kind of like space, in between lines and stuff.
Not him again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. I
Yeah,
think
cool.
yeah. I don't mean it's obviously not from those demos because this is 2009.
Yeah.
But I mean, I almost want to
It's
say
another
we
from
all.
the Psycho
Yeah,
album,
I
right?
almost could see this working on We All Get Out of the Army. I don't know why that's the
Yeah.
album I'm jumping to. Maybe just because it's the closest to what would have been demoed at this time. But I could see that.
All right, and that's the last song.
Last song is Dibble. It goes for
Yeah.
2 seconds and then just becomes Drum Machine, and that's it. And I'm not even gonna let you talk about it because there's truly nothing to say. All right, Suitcase 3 Disc 2. What the hell?
I'm listening to it now. I'm reliving. Yeah, it's
Reliving Dibble.
basically
Nothing to say.
yeah, Dibble.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm speechless.
Nothing to say. Yeah, I'm gonna just
Nothing to
have
say.
something else playing over this because I declared it done. Because really, I'll just have it play once and that'll be it. Like, man, I think I said before that I think Suitcase 3 is the weakest Suitcase. It's not bad. Again, every disc still has hits, but I don't know why Dibble's here, and we're gonna have to deal with it a bit again on the next disc. I think the next disc is better. I don't remember though. It's been a while. Um,
this was pretty great, but I think the next one might be better. But yeah, we
Let me check
on this
real.
disc. First of all, on the Suitcase, we have to deal with two Dibbles and the High on Kelsey
Oh
track.
God! And
So that's
independent productions.
yeah.
Yeah,
Which I don't mind that one
I'm
as
looking
much,
over
but
I'm looking over this I'm looking the next disc. Oh, the next disc is better. The
there's
next
some
disc
huge
is
songs.
definitely
There's
better.
some huge songs on this one.
Yeah, this next
Huge.
disc is a big deal. I mean, there's also 5 songs that aren't, well, let me rephrase it. I think 4 songs that I apparently don't like very much. But I think I know why. But the weight of everything else I think balances out. Like the next disc features one of my all-time favorite Suitcase tracks.
Yeah.
And my takes are going to get really hot next one. I'll put it that way.
Uh,
Yeah.
Here we
I'll
go.
tell you when the call ends so that you're prepared. But anyway, this has been Suitcase Disc by Disc, hosted by the Tin Can Laughter.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I'm not. And I'm Dan. Wow! What the hell? And I'm not even gonna try to say we'll see you next week because I don't know when all these are gonna get done. I don't know when you'll hear this. I mean, heck, you might not hear it when it's new, and it'll be 2023, and we'll say we'll hear you next week, and you'll be like, no, you won't, because this podcast will be
That
done. Um,
that yeah, that's okay. We know. Yeah, we know how podcasts work.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
you know.
It's a finite podcast. We can't go on forever. I mean,
Yeah.
we could try to talk about other stuff after this, but it won't be Suitcase Disc by Disc.
Mm-mm.
It would be weird to call it that and then talk about like Cosmos.
And if another Suitcase comes out, which seems kind of unlikely,
I think thanks to Hot
considering
Freaks
Hot
existing
Freaks.
and so
Yeah.
much coming out of that, I think I'm with you. I don't see another one. I'd love another one to happen, but I don't think it. Just for some of the stray tracks that don't really fit into a larger group the way Hot Freaks has done it, but especially after this week's Hot Freaks, which is like it would have been the weirdest Suitcase Disc or something if it were
That was quite a
if it was
drop.
that
Yeah,
was
that's like that's a Suitcase Disc in and of itself.
we could maybe do like episodes on some of those. But that would have to be
Kind of
like
should.
that would have to be a Hot Freaks podcast, and really the audience for that would be so small.
I guess so.
That'll be later. All right. Till next
All
time,
right.
whenever we meet again. Take
Bye.
care, listeners.